Hey guys, Leah Michelle. It is March 21st, 2017.
We want to take you to ObamaCare, ObamaCare 2.0, RyanCare, ObamaCare Light. Okay, so we've got some of those in the swamp trying to push through a bill that 86% or so of Americans don't even want to touch. I got Representative Thomas Massey saying that he got 20 calls, I think today alone, from constituents, and all of them said, I hate it. I hate this, okay? I do not want this stupid bill passed. This is one of the craziest things in the world, and the only thing that I can think of, because I read a Breitbart article, nobody likes it. Trump loves when we like what he does.
Right.
So if he knows that everyone hates this bill. And for those of you in the UK who Sydney, oh wait a second, here Jasper, you just let Sydney eat so she doesn't have to bark. Okay. For those of you who don't understand what the deal is with Obamacare, Obama and his cronies passed through this healthcare act,
mandatory healthcare,
which didn't help the majority of people at all. And worse than that, if nobody would really be upset if the premiums for people didn't skyrocket. This thing has crumbled to nothing, to where some states don't even have insurance to choose from.
Right.
It's absolutely ridiculous. I think I've told you, I've got neighbors who went from $400 a month for a family of four to $1,200. I mean, I've got friends who can't even keep insurance for themselves because it's too expensive.
And there are so many strings attached to this, like we had mentioned in other segments, where people are getting fined for not having insurance.
It's just a debacle. And Nancy Pelosi, crazy Nancy Pelosi, what did she say? We have to pass the bill
to see what's in it.
Retarded, beyond retarded, which is what they're trying to do here again.
Right.
All right.
Unfortunately, and I, like you said, Trump likes it when we like it. He doesn't like it when we don't like it. But for right now, he's still trying to push to get it going. So we need to make sure that he knows.
The trick is, he knows. The trick is, I read a Breitbart article that this is all part of the deal. And that if you read Art of the Deal, the Breitbart's theory is that he's letting the swamp push it through, and they're going to fall and fail.
Right.
And then the Senate's going to fail. And then he's going to say, now everybody get together. We're going to hash out something with Trump involved.
Yep.
Okay? So I think he's proving to, or trying to say, okay, I'll work with you little, swampettes over here. Rand Paul, one of the only he's on the Freedom Caucus, right? Freedom fighters in the Senate. And I wanted to let you know where he's coming from, and where he's coming from is the majority of liberty-minded Americans.
Yes.
This is kind of a big deal because Trump ran on repeal Obamacare. I mean, it was one of the #1 issues.
Right.
So, and even, he's like, Bill Clinton even said it's the craziest thing ever. And do you know what? Obamacare Light is still crazy. He's just like a crazy cousin.
Yeah.
Weeks than we've done in the last 6 years. I mean, I was excited when we repealed the first regulation. I was at the White House just this last week talking, seeing the president sign the repeal. We've repealed 3 regulations that would have cost the economy hundreds of millions of dollars and have really cost and would have cost tens of thousands of jobs. And so this was a big deal. This is the first time that we've overturned regulations in 20 years. So we've already done that. That's a big deal. We're trying to work on the cabinet appointees. The Democrats are filibustering us at every point. And I think within a month or two, we're going to repeal Obamacare. And then as soon as Obamacare is repealed, then we're going to look at reducing taxes so American businesses can compete with companies abroad.
Okay, so we do need to repeal this thing, get it off the table, and then if y'all want to start over, I have my own opinion. My own opinion,
and this is a very valid opinion,
healthcare, is that I know that when you turn on the television, every single marketing ad is for a pharmaceutical company, and they don't want you well. We are, America's like the wealthiest country in the world. We're also the sickest, the most obese, all kinds of craziness going on.
Yeah.
And I say, as long as the FDA and the CDC puts more vaccines in our children than any other country in the entire world, and as long as this right here, raw milk,
I actually just went to pick this up from
is
our
illegal,
milk drop.
full of probiotics. People have healed themselves with just real milk from the cow. Probiotics, vitamins. When you get this stuff from the store, it's been zapped. There's no nutrients left.
We drink this every single day. It is illegal to buy in several states, and in our state, you have to actually own part of the cow, like we do in a herd
The
share,
technicality.
in order to be able to get the milk
here's the thing.
from the farmer.
In some states, it's completely legal, and you can buy it from the store.
In California, being one
And
amongst
in other countries, in Europe, you can get it out of a vending machine.
a vending machine.
And we've got like tons of people from Bulgaria are in our herd share because they're like, what do you mean it's not legal here? That's all we
Leah
drink.
said something in the car earlier today that really hit home to me, and she said, listen, Michelle, as long as the FDA and everybody is saying, the USDA, that white flour and processed sugars are safer to consume than raw milk straight from the cow, we have problems. And that's what's wrong with
They make you sick with aspartame. I got a friend of mine who, she was in pain and lots of pain and a little overweight. And she said, I stopped eating foods with aspartame. All the pain left my joints. I felt so much better and I lost 40 pounds.
But it's okay to consume aspartame.
But not this. And then we've got,
But
farmers-
why? Why is it? Because they allow you to eat something and consume something that will make you sick and ill and obese and kind of waste away, but they will not allow you to consume things that actually heal, which is why we have the issue with the Amish farmer that we showed before.
Sam.
They have to shut everything down
Here's
that
the
will
thing.
actually heal because they want you dependent upon the pharmaceutical companies
Right.
and the medical industry.
This whole Obamacare and getting a doctor, if a doctor is the only way for us to heal, how did we heal before?
Thank you.
Here's the thing, there has always been health remedies. And Farmer Sam is facing 48 or 58 or some astronomical amount of years in prison because he put some chickweed and some stuff in an oil in a salve.
And called it a healing salve.
Nothing bad happened to the people. But because there was a pamphlet next to, in the same building, that said this particular salve took my cancer away, he's going to jail. The cancer went away. It was a real testimony. So you guys, this is a cover up for real healing.
We went from being able to, like Leah went through this whole spiel in the car, and maybe you want to go into it again, but before the early 1900s or late 1800s, we didn't have licenses
Or degrees.
None of that was required. And now, all of a sudden, in order to actually make a little salve and sell it, you have to have a license, you have to be approved by the FDA. And they do all of this because they are purposefully trying to keep you from self-medicating.
This is part of the education blog, and I can bring it up, but the idea was our education was fine. Until John Dewey and his buddy went over to Prussia, which was then Germany, and they saw that kids were like machines,
Assembly
and
lines.
you could control their minds, and that's where they got the idea for degrees. And at first, there were no PhDs here in America. You had to go to Prussia to get a PhD. And then they started to, then everything was a license, and everything was a degree, and everything was a PhD. And then you have these giant colleges who are no longer educating people. You just get a little stupid piece of paper for $40,000 a year for 4 years. It's the craziest thing in the world. So I am all for deregulation.
So how does this correlate to the healthcare system? What we need to do is literally revamp the entire healthcare industry and strip away all of the regulations from things that actually heal. Because you guys probably know this, but other people don't. The people that speak out, the doctors that speak out about vaccines,
Dude,
they
people
die.
are dying right
They
and
get
left.
killed.
It's
Okay?
this is a conspiracy.
Our friend that lives down in Kentucky, he just moved there, and I'm thinking Kentucky's the agricultural state. Of course, he'll be allowed to do all of these
He
wonderful
doesn't
agricultural
have
things.
to get a permit for anything on his house. He can
to
just
build
build a house,
but
no permits.
But when it comes to agriculture, he has stricter agricultural regulations in Kentucky than we do in Ohio. And I said, names. I said, why is this? And he said, because we have such a huge, big ag, you know what I mean, big farms.
and all these other guys.
And they send lobbyists to Washington to put these regulations on small farmers so that they can't do anything. They can't sell raw milk. Why? Because those
Kentucky-
ads that you see everywhere with the, those professionals that have the fake milk mustache painted on their faces, because those people send lobbyists to Washington to make it so that it is illegal. So I gotta tell you guys, y'all need to start boycotting milk. You need to start boycotting conventional farming. Boycott Purdue. Boycott Heritage Farms. Boycott, what are all the Tyson
Purdue.
chickens? Anything that is
Pepperidge
big.
Farm.
You need to
Where's
start.
Pepperidge Farm? They ain't got no farm. It's a building.
This is what you guys need to do. You need to find where your local butchers are and go directly to them. You need to find your Amish farmers and you need to go directly to them. And that's what's going to make the change in the country.
People always
that's
ask,
what's
what
going to make
can
you
you
well.
do? And it's already working. It's already making a change.
Right.
We're part of a group pushing for laws. We work on this to push through local laws at your local level to allow chickens. All of this used to not be regulated. It's all regulated to get you to have to go to the grocery store, to have to go to the doctor. So let's get back to Obamacare. But I cannot cover Obamacare without covering the fact
Hang on though, because I want to hit something.
essential oils, herbology. I'm going to show you some of
I'm
the books I
hoping,
got.
hang on though, because while you do that, I'm going to tell these people, I want to convince you all right? This may get you really excited about switching over to our side here. Bacon fat, beef fat, cream from the top of the milk is all incredibly healthy, and guess what? Good for you. Butter, lather it on. Eat it by the daggum spoonful. You have been lied to, but the only way you're able to do this is if you have range-fed, organic, hormone-free products. And they're not products, it's meat, it's dairy. These things, they have to be organic, they have to be range-fed, and then that makes it healthy. But the only way you're going to get that, the only way you're going to get it is directly from the farmer. You have to find farmers where you can get these things.
This is written by, I believe, a Mennonite woman, and there are real healing things in here that I did not know about. This is called Be Your Own Doctor, one of the best books ever. Charcoal for food poisoning. Raspberry leaf tea. I mean, you can do slippery elm bark for constipation. Heal local. We got this book. This woman, she puts together an herb, like a 6-week course where you can learn how to heal with herbs. I got the book. I haven't yet taken the
Lee and I were
course.
talking about it.
Sprains, elder leaves, plantain, yarrow.
These actually work. And going back to the plantain, we were like, okay, why is it that kids, if you're going to send them to public school, why don't they learn how to do anything real? Go outside, make some dandelion tea, go outside, take a plantain, put it in their mouth, chew it up, and put it on a bug bite, and guess what? Your itching stops. These are real medical healing things that nobody knows anymore. We waste millions and billions and billions and billions of dollars needlessly. There are cures for the common cold. Guess what, guys? There are cures for cancer, but they are illegal to put on the internet because it's like the cancer drug companies lay down the smack, and you can go to jail for putting a cancer curing remedy out there claiming that it might cure cancer. It's absolutely ridiculous. We have to get back to people being allowed to heal themselves through natural medicines. All right, here we go.
This is a heal
This is
myself
great.
video. Okay, this is what we call beet kvass. Recognize
Beet
that.
kvass. These are orange beets, if you're wondering.
Did you know that that you can actually keep things without refrigeration in a certain manner?
These are beets in water and salt, and you can.
They've sat in there since the summer.
Yes. And this will help with allergies. If you
Allergies.
omit white flour from your diet, this will really help you with allergies.
Take a tablespoon a day. Now this right here,
Fire
woo,
cider!
Fire cider. It's a little bit much, but it'll kick.
Knock you out, man.
It'll kick anything to the curb.
Tell
It's
people
got
what's in it. This is
turmeric,
exciting.
garlic, onions, hot peppers.
It actually
and
smells really good.
ginger, and then you fill it up with raw apple cider vinegar because you want the raw apple cider vinegar with the mother in it. And we could almost do like a
The
whole
mother
cup.
is like a probiotic.
Right. So this is what we use.
Amongst many things. We do elderberry syrup. We make our own toothpaste. You guys wonder like, oh, how do you guys do all these shows? We have no idea because we do manage to do all this other stuff.
Lavender,
We're huge
essential
into essential oils.
This will help you sleep. It helps with bee stings. Tea tree oil. This thing is great for any sort of fungus
We
that
put
you
this
have.
in our deodorant
Right.
because it's a natural deodorizer because it kills bad bacteria, but guess what? It allows good bacteria to live. How does it know? God knew when he made this stuff so that it could make something that kills bad bacteria and allows good bacteria to flourish because you do want good bacteria on your body.
Okay, so
So there's our little healing prop. But here's the thing. When it comes to Obamacare and all this stuff, trillions, I want to say, of dollars are wasted needlessly because people go to the doctor for the smallest of things. If you break a bone, that's when you go to the daggone doctor.
If you slice your finger off,
go to the doctor.
if you impale yourself,
Go to the doctor.
if you smash your hand under a big piece of something,
Go to the doctor.
if you're in a car accident,
Doctor.
there's a lot of things. You crush your skull open.
Doctor. But guess what? There are other doctors besides medical doctors that you can go to, homeopathic doctors that can also help you, chiropractors. Lee and I don't do acupuncture, but it does wonders for a lot of other people.
Our dog does acupuncture.
Yes.
I have a friend who healed up or is healing up her endometriosis
Naturally.
through a holistic doctor through essential oils and certain herbs. So there's better ways.
Yes.
All right. So there are.
That was fun.
That was fun. This is not to be taken for medical advice.
Send me to jail. It's medical advice. Do it. Whatever.
That conservatives in the House to vote no?
I talked to the House Freedom Caucus leadership over the weekend. They still believe that the conservatives in their caucus don't want Obamacare light. I believe that the real negotiation begins when we stop them. You have to stop them. Conservatives will only have a seat at the table if we have 21 votes in the House or 3 or 4 in the Senate. At that point, there'll become a real negotiation. That's why I passed out to them all the art of the deal last week, because we need to learn from the master, and let's make sure that we increase our leverage by holding the line.
So you don't think it's going to pass?
I don't believe so. I think there's enough conservatives that don't want Obamacare light, and I think that they do not fix the problem. And
You know what fixes the problem? This is the your health is the problem. Throwing thousands and thousands of dollars away every year, spending more on your health care than you do on a car, is the problem.
So Thomas Massey had said on his Facebook page just 7 or 8 hours ago, he says, President Trump spoke to us this morning in a private GOP meeting. He's considerably more charming and intelligent than media would lead you to believe. More charming, right? I'm still voting no on Obamacare light this Thursday, but he said, he really tried to charm him, right? I was elected not to follow the DC crowd. Yes, Massey.
Go get him, big dog.
But to come here and make good decisions for my constituents while being fiscally responsible and defending our Constitution. I support our president, but in my judgment, he's receiving bad advice on the negative consequences of this legislation with respect to the cost of health care. Furthermore, he's been misled about the political implications of this bill and even the likelihood of its passage on Thursday. To that point, on average, I'm receiving 30 calls a day from constituents opposing this bill, and how many are supporting it?
0.
If you support this bill and you live in Kentucky's 4th congressional district, please feel free to call me or comment below. So he had an interview with the Washington Examiner.
Shush.
And he says about this.
Can I read that?
Yeah, sure.
I think it's a stinking pile of garbage. I think it was written by the same people that wrote Obamacare.
It was.
That's why it looks so similar. The insurance lobby. Shortly after coming to Congress, maybe 6 months after coming to Congress, so that would have been 4 years ago roughly, after meeting with Eric Cantor and sitting through some GOP conferences, I came home one week and told my wife, if Eric Cantor were cleaning his office, deep cleaning, and he moved the desk and found a button on the wall down below that said repeal Obamacare, not only would he not push it, he would hide it with his desk again. That's how much they don't want to repeal Obamacare.
He says that the committee that's writing this bill receives the most money from the health insurance lobbyists.
That's so great. That's not biased at all.
That's where, in fact, probably everybody on that committee receives max checks from most of the health insurance companies, whether you're Republican or Democrat. It's like a roulette wheel, and they're putting money on every number, red or black, because the odds are in their favor. He says how to fix it. He goes, I think to fix healthcare, you've got to throw all the health insurance lobbyists out of the room.
Yes.
Duh, and sit down and bring some doctors and some real people in to build it from the
Good
ground
advice,
up.
Massey.
He says, The peril is in not doing what we said we were going to do. And that's a huge deal because the American people voted in Trump with faith that he would do what he said he would do.
Right.
There are some voters, like you said, it will energize the left too. They'll have better turnout if we actually get this across the finish line. So there is some danger, but I think the real danger, and this is Trump's danger too, that if it gets here and doesn't do what the people sent him, if it gets here and doesn't do what people send him here to do. On how health insurance companies have impacted coverage. What's happening is you're ending up with stuff in that bundle that you don't need, like your cable package. I don't want MSNBC, but to get Fox, I have to pay for it. Insurance now is just a bundle. You are buying access to healthcare at a price. You don't understand that it's this giant thing that where you're a guy and you have to take on maternity care.
Right.
It's so ridiculous. This is really funny to me. On allowing kids to remain on their parents' health care plans until 26, he says, heck, I'd let your grandma on the plan. It like up to 100, right? Because that expands your pool. As long as the cost for that is built in the price, why not let me have a bigger pool on my plan? I'll take my cousins, I'll expend it, get 30 people. I love it. Just capitalism and expanding it. And I'm just going to make a plug here for his bill to abolish the Department of Ed, which you've seen in our video.
Yes.
He said if I had introduced the bill, he had a bill to abolish the Department of Education, which is just the federal, you don't need it. Your public schools would actually still be there. With George Bush as president, no one would take it seriously, but there's a dimension of it that with Trump in the White House, I say he's the first president since Reagan who would actually sign the bill because Reagan would have signed the bill.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's going to come over here and start whipping for that bill. I'm trying to get liberals to be for it now that Betsy DeVos is in charge. He's trying to play it. So I wanted to show you that. And then this is kind of an interesting interview with
Trump and Tucker
Carlson. And it's interesting.
Has as one of its centerpieces a tax cut for investors that would primarily benefit people making over $250,000 a year. Already done pretty well in the past 10 years, as you know.
Yeah.
A Bloomberg analysis showed that counties that voted for you, middle class and working class counties, would do far less well under this bill than the counties that voted for Hillary, the more affluent counties. It seems like maybe this isn't consistent with the message of the last election.
No, a lot of things aren't consistent, but these are going to be negotiated. We've got to go to the Senate. We're going to see what happens in the Senate. Now, right now, we have 5 or 6 senators that look like maybe they're not going to, I'm talking about Republicans, because we're not going to get one Democrat to vote for it. Again, if this bill were perfect, if it was the greatest thing for Democrats and Republicans, we wouldn't get one Democrat vote. They're going to vote against it. Because of selfish, because of stupidity, because it's politics. It's really bad for our country, what's going on. I mean, what's going on for years, but it's really bad for our country. We will take care of our people, or I'm not signing it.
So even if it actually gets through the House,
Right.
if it's bad, he's just going to veto it and make them start over again. Do you understand? This is the art of the deal.
Right.
All right, so just a couple more I want to give you to give you the whole picture. This is what Rand Paul had to say about Rhino Care.
Ryan, it's really funny.
Yeah, he said that this is in an exclusive interview with Breitbart. He believes there are at least 35 House Republicans ready to vote against the bill in its current form, and he predicted that unless some major changes come to the legislation between now and the vote on Thursday, Ryan will need to withdraw the bill, and the Republicans will have to start from scratch with a new bill and a new strategy on Obamacare. Paul said in an in-person interview at his Senate office, I think there's easily 35 no votes right now, so unless something happens in the next 24 hours, I predict they pull the bill and start over. I think if conservatives stick together, they will have earned a seat at the table where real negotiation to make this bill an acceptable bill will happen. But it's interesting that conservatives are doing what conservatives are doing to the debate. We went from keeping the Obamacare taxes for a year, hundreds of billions of dollars, but they're coming towards us because we're standing firm. So we have to stick together. And if we do stick together, there will be a real negotiation on this. The main goal I have is not to pass something that does not fix the situation. If a year from now, insurance rates and premiums are still going through the roof and it's now a Republican plan, it will be a disservice to the president and all of us, and they don't do something different. So they really have to start from scratch and make it completely different. Okay, this has been just hastily put together. It's stupid. And actually, Rand Paul has he has a whole plan. He's been working on it. You know him. He's got his dad. You know, Rand Paul.
It's still impressive though, because to put together a comprehensive.
So God forbid, the only thing we have to go to the doctor for is if we impale ourselves or something to that nature.
Right. So yeah, sorry, our camera cut off. Yeah. So I think that, like I said, I think they can rename it Resistance Chicks Care, and that would be okay with us if they want. And if they want to come to us for advice on natural healing.
Everyone would have to go through a holistic doctor.
Yeah, before they even got to a regular doctor.
And had to try a bunch of natural remedies before you even got a prescription for something that's not chemical based or something.
Exactly. I like it.
And they had like local healers and local people who knew all this stuff that you could go to.
And you know what though? I wouldn't even make it a requirement. As a matter of fact, if you could just untie people's hands and give them the ability to use their medical insurance towards something like this, it would blow everything out of the water. That's all you need to do.
You just don't hold people accountable. Don't make people who give you local herb things to have to be held to the same standards of a doctor. Don't make them have a doctor's degree.
Yeah, absolutely. And let people like Sam make their healing salves. Make it legal to put the cancer remedies out there that are natural. I mean, you know,
there's a vitamin C drip that people swear by that's really worked for a lot of people.
Exactly.
Vitamin C, Matt will tell you about it.
All right, you guys, this is Leah Michelle signing off for Resistance Chicks, where it is not a conspiracy theory
if they're trying to kill you.
And if God put natural remedies on this earth so that we wouldn't have to suffer, yeah, he's just that awesome. Okay, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks.
What was it? Okay, dirt. There's healing power in dirt.
Oh, absolutely. And I plugged this book before. Read Josh Axe's book, Eat Dirt.
So what somebody said to me, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. So instead of getting their kids out to play in the dirt, they're like, I wonder if pharmaceutical companies can find out what it is in dirt and we can like put it in a pill or something.
Listen, what they tell you to do, I mean, there are really good microorganisms out in the earth, in the dirt. If you can't get outside, buy a dog. Send the dog outside to go roll in the dirt. This is true. I'm not kidding. This is not a joke. Go roll in the dirt. Go walk outside in the grass. Come and just give it all kind of hugs. And we need to be in touch with the earth. And when we're not, it makes us sick. Everybody out there with gut health and gut issues, leaky gut, IBS, all of that.
Go barefoot.
All of that can be cured with natural remedies such as kombucha, beet kvass, raw milk, being outside with the microorganisms fermented foods, all that stuff. You don't have to take all these pills. You can just eat better. Eat natural. Eat real food. It's called real food. All right. Did we say everything?
If you want more on this, we are more than happy. This is our
wheelhouse.
Okay.
Okay. I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I was cold all alone. No place for home every day. So afraid. But you called my name.